Justice is the idea that everyone deserves to have what is due to them. Justice doesn't discriminate, and it works towards the common good. In America, justice is valued. Everyone has equal rights, no matter what religion, race, or gender. Especially in the Catholic Church, justice is expected. Here is an example.
In other world news, he's preached goodwill, humility, and service, and he's leading by example. But the Pope went to jail today. Calm down. He went to jail to wash the feet of young prisoners, many of them Muslims and atheists, on this Holy Thursday. It's a twist on the tradition. Previous popes have chosen to wash the feet of other priests inside a Roman basilica. But
Without justice, communities would fall apart, and that's just where the police come into play. Police can arrest people causing problems and send them off to jail to protect their neighborhood. But what happens to the convict?
The United States of America incarcerates more people than any other country in the world. In fact, the U.S. hosts more prison inmates than all other developed nations combined. As of 2010, the world population was over 6.8 billion people, with an estimated 9.8 million in jail. This figure, compiled by the International Center for Prison Studies, refers both to individuals held in jail awaiting trial and inmates serving time after sentencing. So there are 9.8 million human beings on planet Earth living inside of cages that we know of. In 2010, the U.S. was home to about 309 million people, 4.5% of the world's total population, but housed 23% of the world's prisoners. So take a moment to think about what this means. It means we imprison more people than enormous autocratic countries like China. We imprison more people than Russia. Compared to the size of our population, our rate of imprisonment dwarfs our closest allies, like the United Kingdom, France, and Canada. As of 2010, there were over 1.6 million post-trial inmates serving sentences in America's state and federal facilities. This number does not include those being detained pre-trial or those on probation. The most unique feature of incarceration in America is the large and active role of our federal government. In most countries, crime is reacted to at the local or regional level, whereas the American government finances and legislates a significant portion of law enforcement at the national level. State governments still do their fair share of incarceration, though. California and Texas incarcerate more than other states with over 171,000 inmates each. Florida is a close third with over 103,000 prisoners. But no single state locks up more people than the federal government with over 208,000 inmates. Perhaps the nickname Land of the Free, Home of the Brave should be updated. Though I suppose you need to be brave to endure the highest likelihood of incarceration the world has ever known. Prisons are not what we think about when we think of America, and they shouldn't have to be. A free nation shouldn't imprison so many people, and a fiscally responsible nation can't afford to. With close to $40 billion a year in state correctional spending, the financial costs are obvious and staggering alone, but the human costs are often underappreciated. 1.6 million fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of American families are incarcerated. It's time for people to realize that the criminal justice system in America is desperately in need of reform.
The Catholic bishops had many good points having to do with the U.S. prison system. One being that restoring a sense of civility and responsibility to everyday life and promoting crime prevention and genuine rehabilitation would benefit both the communities suffering from crime and the prisoners looking for a way to improve. Another important step is recognition that the dignity of a human person applies to both the victim and the offender. The injustice can be stopped by giving prisoners a chance to redeem themselves instead of sentencing them to a very long period of time. Prisoners should be given opportunity to do charity work and go to therapy to work through their sentence faster. Prisons also need to offer services to help prepare prisoners for the outside world once they're released. This will prevent repeat offenders and remind prisoners what it's like to make their own decisions and deal with emotions and arguments in a safe way.